Okay, day 14 of my preparation for IDPA Nationals. And today we're going to talk a little bit about match prep, stage prep, and then pre-shot routine. So it's a lot. It's a big day. Okay, match prep's probably a pretty big subject, but usually, before the match, like a week before the match, I'll make sure I got my hotel rooms if I'm staying on the road or something. And another thing I do is I case gauge every single round that I take to the match, and I visually inspect at least round. That way, it's just a little peace of mind stuff that I don't have to worry about my hotel room or my ammo. I've got that stuff straight away. And I make sure I got my backup gear ready for the match. Now, once I get the stages, I usually look for, if there's a standard or something, maybe I can set that up and practice it at my local range. But it's not worth setting up stages for like they set, because it's just on paper and it ends up so different. But what I look for is starting positions, and I look for unusual starting positions. I remember last year at Nationals we had a ladder, and last year before Nationals I went and just practiced climbing up the ladder and just remembered how to get up the ladder and how to get up and how many runs and stuff to get up. And I remember doing that last year, and that worked out pretty good for me. So I look for unusual starting positions, and then I practice that I can practice. And also I practice like round count things. If there's a lot of stages with 3 rounds, I will do a lot more 3 rounds per target in my dry fire and in my practice. Like this match coming up, I've got a lot of 3 rounds, a lot of 2 to the body, 1 to the head stages, a couple of those. So, and then there's one stage where it's 1 shot per target. So it's kind of, that switches it up. Normally we kind of get stuck in a rut in IDPA to shoot 2 per target. So today in my dry fire session, I've incorporated a lot Mozambiques, 2 to the body, 1 to the head, and some one shot target stuff. So that's just match prep in general. It seems like there's not much match prep because I spent all year training for match prep. So there's just a few more details that I work out for a specific match. Is starting positions and how many rounds per target and stuff. I kind of practice that a little bit more. Okay, for stage prep, for me it is really the reload. I focus on getting my reloads where I can do them while I'm moving. And another key is to be moving to the right, because if I'm moving to the left, you're much more likely to break the 180, and it's a more difficult reload going to the left. I practice going to the left, and a lot of times they make us go to the left, but that's a big thing. And at my last sanctioned match, I would stage prep, and I would say, okay, I want to reload after that target. And I get to that target, and I still have a round in my gun. I really need to be careful and say, unload, empty your gun on that target, go to war on that target, and make sure you're at slide lock reload on that target. So that's a big thing I'm going to change from my last match on my stage prep, is to really follow through and run the gun empty on a target. And another key thing is on stage prep, is to, when there's like a tight non-threat or something, instead of saying, oh, be careful of that non-threat, to say positive things like, hey, okay, put these rounds on the line over here, put these 2 right here on this side of the target, instead of stay away from the non-threat, because then you'll shoot a little bit farther away. On your stage prep, say, hey, I want to put my rounds on this side of the target. We know it's because of the non-threat, but you don't want to get the non-threat too far in your mind. And a good thing for stage prep is to just get a couple of spots, where you want to reload, key spots about, placing and where to keep your gun up. That's another good example of positive thinking. Is you don't want to say, don't drop your gun. Don't lower your barrel moving to this position. You want to say, keep your barrel up when you're doing your stage prep, just to be positive. And just little words like that can have a really big input on your performance. So pick out a few things, reload's key, spots where you want to keep your grip together, or a particular place you want to put your foot, and get those while you're doing your walkthrough. And then go behind the area, and it's legal to air gun in IDPA if you're out of the shooting area, or if it's not marked 10 yards behind it. So go through your plan a few times, make sure you got all the bugs worked out, and then before you shoot, go through it if you can, if it's, you know, it's available. I like going through at least 3 times, just make sure I got everything, and get down on a knee if we're going down to a knee, or just to walk through in your mind and visualize positive things like be on this side of the target, keep your grip established, keep your muzzle up going into this position, and little things like that will really help you out in your stage prep. Okay, so your pre-shot routine should be sweet and simple. Just simple is better. So it should be like a basketball player who shoots a free throw. They bounce the ball 3 times, spin it, and shoot. So it should be something like that, because last year I had some problems where I didn't have my magazine in the pouch. It's still in my pocket, and a lot of stupid things that I should do. So my pre-shot routine this year is put my hand on my gun, hand on my magazine, bend my knees, and I'm ready to go. And I usually say something about my grip, just a reminder about grip and rip, or get my grip, get my trigger finger deep. If I'm in there deep, I usually shoot pretty good. So it's something simple like that, and it works every time, because sometimes you'll be on a hot bay, and if your pre-shot routine is got you load and make ready, you may not have that, so it kind of throws you off your game. So it should be really simple and easy. Now, if your gun's on the table, or your magazine's a different place, you can still kind of reach for it to make sure you got your magazine just a middle note where your gun is, and still reach out, because you don't want to go to your mag pouch to reload when your magazine's on the table. So it's a good reminder, just a little middle reminder where everything is, and it's a clue to the safety officer that you're not ready yet, that you're getting ready. So if you have your hand on your gun, and how you're going to pick it up, like off the table or something, is really good. Just a pre-shot routine, and keep it as simple as possible, because you did all the work in your match prep. All the work is in your stage prep. So now it's just time to perform. So it's just real key to keep it real simple, and your pre-shot routine should be as easy as possible. That way everything's automatic as possible. Sit. Oh, good. Sit. Stay. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, day 14. And there's a lot of work to get ready for a match. Match prep is one of those things that is really done, a few days before. I start, a week before with getting all my ammo ready. And, even if it's factory ammo, I still case gauge and check every round just for the peace of mind. But the stage prep is something I really need to work on, and focus, and I think I've made a lot of improvements. But the pre-shot routine is going to be something individual for you, and mine is just real simple. I just grab my gun and grab my magazine, make sure I can, I have those, and it's kind of reassuring. And then I say something positive like grip and rip, or just something real simple. And I had made the mistake of putting my load and make ready in my pre-shot routine, and that's it. And I learned real quick that's not a good habit, especially when they run a hot bay. It kind of throws you off. And I had a friend almost get DQ'd at the last match because he was about to go. They were running a hot bay, and he was already loaded, but he went to go shoot. He didn't have his other magazine. He thought he was missing a magazine, so he stepped out of the area. Or he almost stepped out of the area, and that so stopped him, and he forgot the magazine was already in the gun, and he was looking for a mag that he didn't need. So that kind of thing gets out of him. One thing I like to do is I shoot SSP, so division capacity is 10, but you get to start with 1 in the gun, so one magazine has 11 in it. And I put that in my primary mag pouch. I put that in the first, and I'll check it a few times. But I like putting it there. That way I get a rep of a reload, of getting that perfect purchase on the magazine. But that's not part of my pre-shot routine. It's probably might be more my stage prep, or that's before my pre-shot routine. So it's very important just to keep things simple and put all the hard work in the prep, so you don't, so things are automatic when you shoot, and you can just, because if you're thinking while you're shooting, and if you have too much things to think about, you're gonna forget stuff. So it's best to keep it simple and just get out there and be aggressive and shoot.